Okay, so I want you to picture something. It's the morning of September 11th, 2001.
Right.
You're in New York City, you're young, you're there for this amazing music academy, and you've got a plan for the day.
A very specific
A
plan.
very specific plan. You're going to wake up early, head straight to the Twin Towers. Not for a meeting, not for the view, but for a pair of jeans.
Twisted jeans, to be exact.
Yes,
Yeah.
ones with the seam that like spirals around the leg. You're obsessed with them.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
You never make it.
You never make it to the store. You sleep in. And the only reason you sleep in, and I mean the only reason you're alive to tell this story, is because the battery in your watch died.
That's the classic brush with death story, right?
Yeah.
It's terrifying. But for the guy we're talking about today, that was not just luck.
No.
It was a data point.
Exactly. Because days before that battery died, his mother, who was halfway across the world in Slovakia, had a dream.
A dream that seemed to predict the entire tragedy with this chilling specificity.
And that, right there, is the hook. Welcome to the deep dive.
Today we're unpacking the mind of an author who goes by the name F+LX, that's pronounced Felix. We're looking at his huge project, Dream.Ninja Arsenal.
Now, usually when you talk about dreams, you're heading straight into mysticism. You're thinking incense, maybe some Freudian analysis.
Sure, dream catchers, all that stuff.
But that is not what this is. Not at all. F+LX calls himself a dyslexic Xennial polymath. He's a web developer, a music producer, a gamer.
He doesn't interpret dreams, he debugs them.
That's the distinction that just grabbed me immediately. He treats the dream state like it's a buggy piece of software. He's hunting for glitches.
Rendering errors, bad code in your own subconscious. It's like The Matrix meets, I don't know, a rave in Bratislava.
It really is. He calls himself a dream ninja, but he's very clear. It's not some fluffy self-help title.
No, it's a tactical mindset. If you see the dream world as a network you can hack, then you've got to be stealthy.
You have to extract information, fight what he called lucid battles, and avoid the dream police.
Which all sounds completely insane until you actually read his logs.
It does. But before we get into all the coding metaphors, we have to go back to that 9/11 story.
You have to, because without that anchor, the rest just sounds like, science fiction. It sets the stakes.
Right. If dreams are just random neurons firing, who cares?
But if they're an information stream, that changes everything. He calls this one the towel dream.
So set the scene for us. He's in New York for the Red Bull Music Academy. It's a huge deal.
Oh, the time of his life. 28 DJs from all over the world. But back home, his mother has this dream about 2 towels hanging on a rope.
And pay attention to the glitch here, as he would say.
Exactly. They're not hung over the middle, balanced like you'd normally hang laundry. They're clipped by the corners on the side.
Which is a really specific, kind of unstable way to hang a towel.
Correct. And in the dream, a white dove flies into one of them, the rope snaps, and both towels just fall to the ground.
Okay, so a skeptic, and I'm usually a skeptic, would say, all right, falling towels, falling towers. It's a metaphor. It's a coincidence.
Of course. Until he gets home, he opens his suitcase to unpack, and he pulls out 2 towels that he bought for the trip.
And his mother sees them.
And she physically shudders. She says, that is the exact shade of green from my dream.
That's the detail that stops you cold. It's not just the symbol, it's the physical object.
Yeah.
The hex code of the green towel matched the dream.
And this is what launches the entire philosophical engine of his work. He brings up the term a priori.
In philosophy, that's knowledge you have before experience, right?
Yes, knowledge that's independent of experience.
Yeah.
But being this dyslexic polymath, he can't resist a word game.
I love this connection.
He connects it to the word prior. Physically, Prior was the name of this famous department store in Bratislava where he bought the towels.
So prior is the physical place he visited before the trip.
And a priori is the knowledge his mother received before the disaster. It's this double helix of meaning. He's arguing that maybe dreams are a form of a priori access.
A way to, read the code of reality before it actually executes?
That's the idea. Which brings us all the way back to the alarm clock. The only reason he wasn't standing there was because his brother's Casio G-Shock died.
A watch that is famous for never dying.
Yeah.
G-Shocks are basically indestructible.
Right, and he missed the jeans. And I just love the detail that he didn't buy the jeans earlier because he was saving money for a RAM upgrade.
It's such a perfect character detail, isn't it? He literally chose computer memory over fashion.
And that choice saved his life. He wakes up late, turns on the TV just to check the time, and he sees the world ending.
He talks about going to the Imagine Mosaic in Central Park, then sitting in a bar with a Finnish friend, just drinking double vodkas.
And watching footage of Afghanistan on the TV with the sound off, he said it looked like the start of the next big war, just on mute.
That's silence.
Yes.
It's like it traumatized him, but it also activated him.
Yes. He realized if the network could send a warning about towels, he needed to learn how to log in and read the data himself.
So let's talk methodology. How does a web developer analyze a dream differently from, say, a therapist?
Well, right, a therapist is going to ask you, how did that make you feel? They're looking for emotional repression.
And F plus LX is looking for what?
Linguistic puns, syntax errors. He thinks the subconscious is a pun engine. It's trying to communicate, but it's using this, like, compressed language.
Let's use an example. Dreamlog #1, the excavator. This is a perfect window into his process.
Okay, so the scene is he sees a toy-sized excavator, but it looks hyper-realistic. He's at an intersection, the light turns green, he walks into this street that's just full of fallen trees, like after a disaster.
And there's a dog there, but it's not barking.
Right, it's terrified, but it's silent.
So standard dream chaos. I'd wake up and just think, huh, weird dream about a dog.
On the surface, yeah. But he runs the code. First, he recognizes the intersection. It's the exact corner where he used to live with an ex-girlfriend. Then he translates her name. It means only void.
Ouch. Only void.
Then he looks at the neighbor, the dog's owner, in real life. The neighbor's name translates to Veda.
Veda, as in the Hindu scriptures.
Exactly. Veda means knowledge, but he specifically links it to the concept of the science of silence.
So the dog didn't bark because it was being controlled by the science of silence.
Precisely. And the light was green. The excavator is a tool for digging, so the output of his debug session wasn't some big emotional realization.
No, it was an instruction set.
A clear instruction set. Green light. Use the excavator. Dig deeper. Clean up the fallen trees.
It's so efficient. It's almost cold. He strips out the emotion to find the algorithm, just clean up the mess.
That's the Dream Ninja approach. Emotion is just the UI, the user interface. He wants the source code.
There's another log that really shows his tech background. Dreamlog #2, the one with the BlackBerry.
Ah, overboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's swimming in the ocean, holding a BlackBerry passport above the water.
I remember those phones, the square screen. That's such a specific device.
Very specific. And he's trying to reach a ship. First, it's a cruise ship, but then it kind of glitches and morphs into a cargo ship.
And he gets a call on the BlackBerry from an AI voice-speaking Slovak. What's the takeaway?
It's about time stamping. He realizes the BlackBerry passport is metadata. It anchors that memory to a very specific year in his life.
And the ship changing from a cruise to cargo.
He reads that as a message about his career. Like, the party's over, the cruise has ended, now it's time to haul cargo, time to work.
And he mentions the idiom, missing the boat.
Or in Slovak, missing the train. The dream was telling him he'd missed a transition. He was just treading water, holding on to this outdated piece of tech.
You said glitching just then. This
Hey,
seems to be where he really leans into simulation theory. He doesn't just see weird stuff, he sees rendering lag.
This is one of my favorite parts of his whole theory. If you grew up playing first-person shooters like Doom or Quake, you know what lag looks like.
Oh yeah, you turn too fast and the wall texture hasn't loaded in yet. It's just blurry.
Or gray geometry. Dreamlog #4. Coop is the perfect example. He's in a building with his father looking for a lost jacket. But when they backtrack, the rooms have changed.
The layout doesn't make sense anymore.
In a normal dream, you just accept that. You go, oh, dream logic. But F plus Alex stops and thinks, the rendering engine is failing.
He actually hypothesizes that the dream state has a frame rate limit.
It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? That if you become lucid, if you wake up inside the dream and start running around too fast, you're basically overclocking the CPU of your own sleep.
You're creating too many draw calls for the subconscious to handle, so the environment gets unstable, the walls glitch.
And text becomes unreadable. It reframes lucid dreaming completely. It's not about enlightenment or flying. It's about server load management.
Which leads to his funniest, but also maybe most paranoid idea, advertisements.
Right, Dreamlog #5. He becomes lucid and suddenly starts seeing dream elements as ads, billboards, pop-ups, text overlays.
But when he tries to read the fine print,
To hack the UI and see what's really there, the dream crashes. He just wakes up instantly.
the system kicked him out.
He calls it the blue screen of death for the brain. But again, look at the linguistics. This is his polymath brain at work. The German word for advertisement is Werbung.
which connects to.
Historically, Verbone was also used for army recruitment, to woo someone into service.
So he sees these dream ads not as selling him something, but as conscription.
He feels recruited. He believes the Dream Ninja Clan isn't a club he signed up for, it's a draft. His mission is to sneak in, get the data, but, and this is key, don't crash the server.
Don't look at the fine print too hard or the dream police will boot you.
It's a very specific kind of anxiety, the fear that you're playing against an admin who can ban you at any second. And to manage that, he turns to his other skill set,
Music.
DJing. He calls himself a neuroplastic man, which is a nod to the techno artist Plastic Man.
Richie Houghton,
He uses a DJ mixer as a model for consciousness. So think about it. Deck A is waking life, Deck B is dreaming.
And in the middle, you've got the crossfader.
Right. And most people are terrible DJs of their own minds. They just slam the fader. Snap you're asleep, snap you're awake. It's a train wreck mix. The beats don't match.
So his goal is to beat match the transition.
Exactly. To smoothly blend the tracks. He wants to carry the tempo of the dream into the waking state, and vice versa. That's what he calls neuroplasticity.
That leads to a concept I found was actually pretty practical, even if you're not a coder. The idea of loops and recursion.
Dreamlog, #7. He sees a boat that's circling on autopilot to prevent theft. In coding, recursion is a function that calls itself.
An infinite loop.
If you don't give it an exit condition, it runs forever until the system crashes. In our minds, we call that obsession, anxiety, chasing your own tail.
Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail.
And he contrasts that with the Y2K bug.
Which I thought was brilliant. Remember Y2K? The whole world was panicking.
Because of some bad coding shorthand.
Yeah.
But the fix wasn't some massive overhaul.
No, it was simple.
It was a one-liner, a single conditional statement. If year 99, then do this.
So he's asking, how many IF statements does reality operate on?
And maybe more importantly, can I fix my own mental loops with just one line of code? It suggests our biggest problems might just be syntax errors.
We don't need years of digging. We just need to patch the code. Find the exit condition for the loop.
He takes this idea of coding reality even further with this concept of mental gravity.
This felt a little bit like the law of attraction, but I don't know, darker, or it's more mechanical.
It's the law of attraction written by a developer who gets probability. He argues that if you, the observer, focus on a low probability event, you create a gravity well. You actually pull it toward you.
So if enough of us obsess over the singularity, we're basically writing the code for it to happen.
We are co-authoring the source code by paying attention to it. We're the rendering engine. If enough people look at the monster renders in high definition.
That is heavy. That implies a lot of responsibility for what we think about.
Which is why he gives us homework. He suggests we practice randomness with this thing he calls DJ ping pong.
I actually tried this last night. It's surprisingly fun.
How'd it go?
It's weirdly effective. So for anyone listening, you think of a problem, a specific question you're stuck on, then you just hit shuffle on your playlist.
And whatever song plays, you have to treat that as the oracle. You have to find the answer in that track.
It sounds like a game, but it's a neuroplasticity drill. You're forcing your brain to build a bridge between two totally unrelated data points.
That effort is the crossfader working. That is the dream ninja training. It breaks the Ouroboros cycle by introducing fresh code from the outside.
So if you had to boil this all down, 9/11 premonitions, glitching ships, army recruitment ads, what is F plus LX's worldview?
I see it as a synthesis of three worlds that don't usually talk to each other. One, there's a kind of Buddhism. The single-player campaign, the internal silence.
The Vida.
Two, there's coding. The logic that reality is a system you can debug and patch. And three, club culture. The idea that God is a DJ. Life is about flow and rhythm.
So it's a worldview that says you aren't just a passive character in the game. You have access to the dev console.
But, and this is the final, very provocative warning he leaves us with, you have to be careful with those tools.
The collateral knowledge idea,
Yeah.
the dream about the burning church.
Right. He dreams a church tower is on fire, and he's fighting to keep the doors open so people can escape. But later he reflects on the metaphor of burning the church.
As in, destroying tradition to make way for innovation, move fast and break things.
He asks this really haunting question. If you hack reality too much, if you burn down all the old structures to build your new code, Do you risk being excommunicated?
If I run too far to get home.
That's the danger of the hacker. If you break the system to understand it, do you still have a place in the system? If you treat your dreams as just data to be mined, you lose the magic of just dreaming.
It makes you wonder if some glitches are better left unfixed. Maybe we're not supposed to see the frame rate of the universe.
Or maybe we just need to make sure we keep that crossfader moving. Don't get stuck on one deck. Don't get lost in the code. Remember to actually dance.
That is a solid place to land. Well, on that note, I think I'm going to go hit shuffle and see what the universe has to tell me about my lunch plans.
Good luck. Hope it's a banger.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive into the Dream Ninja arsenal. Sleep well, and watch out for the glitches.